So we're gonna have to talk a little bit about the UK today. And, full disclosure, as somebody that doesn't really have a dog in this fight, as somebody that lives in the United States, I don't really usually, typically care about anything that happens in the UK. I just don't. And, that makes sense. I don't live there. It makes sense. It's probably how it should be. When something happens in the UK, it doesn't really come across my radar. And that's probably how it should be, right? I do, however, sometimes notice the UK because they just do some crazy, wacky stuff. And if I had to come up with an example, just I don't know, off the top of my head, maybe it would be like locking up their own citizens for non-violent social media posts. That is just the first thing that comes to my mind. The first thing that I think of. So when they do stuff like that, I tend to notice the UK. I tend to pay attention a little bit more. And I'm noticing them again because over in the UK, the government has officially cleared a bill that bans anyone born after 2008 from ever legally purchasing tobacco. And I know what you're probably thinking. Hey, what's the deal? What's your beef? This is tobacco. You shouldn't really be doing it. Have you heard? It's dangerous. They even put it on the packaging. It causes cancer. Cancer. It causes cancer. What's the problem? What kind of monster would even have a problem with this? So what? So what? Anybody that's born after 2008 and just, doing the math, that means if you're not already 18, tough luck. Sorry. We're putting a ban. We're putting a ban. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to purchase tobacco. And obviously I recognize that tobacco is dangerous. You probably shouldn't smoke it or chew it or do it, whatever the fuck that, you want to do with it. You probably shouldn't. I'm not endorsing that. However, I do have this belief that no grown person should be able to tell another grown person what to do as long as it's not affecting another person. Meaning, if you want to go to your house, purchase all the tobacco you can, and smoke until you get lung cancer, I mean, why? Why do that? Why do that? I mean, why do people eat fast food for 3 meals of their six out of the day and slowly but surely get fatter and fatter year after year? I don't know. Why would you just kill yourself like that? I don't know. But I think you should be allowed to do that. Who am I? Who am I? And we always look at the government like, oh, the government. It's the government. It's the government. The government. Like it's some big entity. Like it's some big overarching thing that's looking down on us. Like our daddies in the sky that are taking care of everything. It's the government. But it's just people telling other people what to do. So telling that, the what 17 and under, all those kids that are already born, hey, by the way, I know that every other generation before you has been able to purchase tobacco, but sorry, you're not. Granted, again, it is tobacco. There's probably not too many people that are up in arms. What's the deal? How could you compare this to them locking up their own citizens for nonviolent social media posts? How is this the same? I don't know. I just look at this as control. Controlling. You know? It's controlling. Imagine that this was a relationship. You got your friend that's in this relationship. And anytime that one of the people in the relationship puts a post out on social media that the other doesn't like, well, they have to stay in the house and they can't go anywhere. They get locked up, so to speak. That'd be a very controlling relationship. If that was your friend that was going through that, you'd say, hey, you need to get out of that. You should be able to say what's on your mind. You know what I mean? It's not like you're inciting violence. If you were inciting violence, I understand. But you're just putting ideas out there. You're just putting out ideas. So if you want to stuff your face like a fat ass every single day and slowly but surely clog all your arteries and die a morbidly obese life. That's up to you. If you want to use tobacco until you get riddled with cancer, or nothing happens and you just use it, whatever happens. You just want to use tobacco until the day you die. Cool. If you want to do any of these things, that's not up to somebody else. If you want to put out ideas out there that somebody doesn't agree with, that's not up to somebody else to say you can't do that. If this was a relationship, you'd say, hey, that's bad. Red flags. Get out of that. Leave him. And I'm just saying him because it's usually that's more like I guess it goes both ways. But when it comes to severely controlling like that, I don't know. Maybe that's just how I think about it. Like some piece of shit guy that's trying to tell his lady what she can and can't do. Don't post that. Think you could post that? You think you just put that? You think you can embarrass me like that? Again, if this was a relationship like that, it would be clear. Who are you? Who are you to say that? She didn't do anything illegal. She didn't do anything wrong. Who are you to say what she can and can't post? If somebody wants to do all of these things, cool. If they want to, like I said, be a fat ass. If they want to smoke tobacco forever, if they want to put out ideas, and let's say they are really bad, they're hateful. They don't incite violence, but they're bad. Most people would say, hey, you crossed the line. It's fucked up. You shouldn't do it. You shouldn't say that. Most people would say that. And for those people, they should be allowed to do it. That's what free speech is. You should be allowed to put out things that people say, I hate you. I want you to be a pariah. And they should be allowed to be ostracized from whatever group, and they should be allowed to stand next to the things that they say and say, you know what? I don't care. They all hate me. They all hate me. Look at my entire comment section. It's full of hatred. I'm getting a whole bunch of unfollows and unfriends and all of this shit. People are messaging saying that I'm a piece of shit and all of these things. They should be allowed to make those decisions. Again, if this was a relationship, you would see it clear as day. For some reason, they're just rolling over in the UK. That's why I look at things like this tobacco ban, or them locking up their own people for social media posts, as wild, crazy. And you might think, hey, you said it yourself. You live in the United States. What is it to you? And honestly, I feel like this is an infection. I feel like this shit might bleed over. I think it might come across the pond, as they say in the UK. I think it might come over here. Somebody might say, hey, that's a good idea. How about we do a little bit of that? You got more power? What, you got power and control over your people and they're just going with it? Huh. They're using it. They're actually weaponizing these things. They're calling the police on their own neighbors for basically harmless posts. We got these motherfuckers in the back. So this, I don't know. This might not be that big of a deal to a lot of people because it is tobacco. I think it also might be them slowly rolling out more controlling legislation or whatever, more controlling bills, We can start with something that a lot of people will say, hey, I can see the bad in this. We've been seeing no smoking or like anti-cigarette commercials or whatever since, I don't know, since I've been alive. I don't know when they actually started that shit. I know they used to just be cool with you smoking cigarettes in diners and shit like that. You could just like hold your baby and smoke a cigarette with the other hand while you're on an airplane full of a whole bunch of people. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. You go to the doctor, they say, hey, what are you, a Nancy? Take a cigarette. That's what you had to do. They literally, and this is a real thing, doctors would literally prescribe cigarettes for people with asthma because they thought you had weak lungs. This is going to help strengthen your lungs. You're going to get them strong lungs, okay? You just got them little pussy lungs right now. Get some hair on your chest. Get some whiskey. Smoke a little pack of those. You'll be all right. It's a real thing. But that was a long time ago. For a long time, people have woken up to the fact that tobacco is bad. That it causes cancer. I don't know why I'm putting these asterisks or quotation marks around it. It obviously does. They put it on the packaging. So when they put out a ban like this, maybe a lot of people, for the most part, are gonna be like, "Hey, it's okay." Even people that smoke cigarettes or whatever. You know what's like you hear from people that smoke cigarettes. I used to smoke cigarettes. I quit that shit. I'm almost 2 years from quitting that shit. And one thing you hear is, "I wish I never would have started. It's the worst habit ever." All of these cliche things. So even people that use tobacco, they may be like, "Hey, you know what? This might be a good thing. Let's not give the kids an option. Let's not give them a chance. Let's not let them make that choice. This isn't a standard age restriction. It's a permanent status. The goal is to create a tobacco-free generation to save the national healthcare system's billions in the long run." You know, it sounds good. It always sounds good, don't it? You know, the Patriot Act sounds good until you realize they're just spying on you through the phones. Like, they were just okay with it. I guess that's a law now. They could just listen to us on the phone. But it's the Patriot Act. Well, yeah, I'm a patriot. I love America, the United States of America. I'm a patriot. I'll even break out into song. I will sing the national anthem. Do I need to? I'm a patriot. So you can't really go against the Patriot Act. It sounds so good. They always make it sound good. We're gonna save the healthcare system billions in the long run. Billions. Okay. Why don't you do some other things then? I feel like there are some other ways you could save the money. And maybe their government's different than ours. I will give that to them. I don't know if they are as reckless as our government. Because we in debt. You know, we don't know how. We don't know how to use the money that we have in a normal way, in a way that doesn't put us in a deficit. We don't know how to not overspend. We don't. So maybe they're not like us. But to put this as, we just want a tobacco-free generation. And we're going to save billions in the long run, just in case that's not enough. Of course you're going to put it like this. This is some altruistic mission, and there's no way that this is for more control. Bullshit. Bullshit. Maybe I'm wrong. Allegedly. There. Does that make this better? I don't know. Does that make this better? Full disclaimer. I don't know. But goddamn. It's like I said, you start with, "Oh, they're actually letting us lock them up for these posts. They're actually letting us do that." And by letting us, I mean they're not protesting and like throwing a whole revolution or whatever. I don't know how this would go down. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's the problem. This isn't hundreds of years ago where everybody's so fucking radical and it's like, let's just sail off to the new world. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we're just like, all of us are just looking around like, what do you do in this situation? They're just locking us up now for this. What do we do? We can't go to the police. The police are the ones here. The police are the ones here. And again, they're turning fast. Just as quick as you thought you had a friend, you realize that was never your friend. That was just a neighbor that didn't like something that you put on Facebook. And hey, knock, knock, knock. Susan down the street said you hurt her feelings. Goodbye. You're getting locked up. You're going to jail. You're getting locked up. So maybe this is just another step. They're letting us do that. Step 1, they're actually starting to weaponize it. Step 2, let's go ahead and take away something. Let's go ahead and strip, not like something where we move the goalposts. It's like, well, now you got to be 50 to use tobacco. Fuck that. Let's just tell them we're done with it. It's going to be a tobacco-free generation. Even the ones that are alive now. If you're not already an adult, I don't care. Fuck off. You are going to be a part of the tobacco-free generation. What this tells me is We want. And by we, I mean the government. And again, the government is just people. These are people saying what they want. Hey, guess what? This is what we want. Why would you be smart enough to make your own choices? Yes, you're smart enough to vote us into office, and where we make these bills to say you are not smart enough to make decisions about your own life. I'm sorry. That's how the world works. If you have a problem with it, honestly, you can just go fuck yourself. Yeah, it's gotten to that point. Straight up. Just blatantly. Like that. Why why sugarcoat this? Why sugarcoat it? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? We already discovered. You don't know. You don't know. So you better be careful. You better be careful because I might have another bill coming that you don't like. Get out of my office. What are you gonna do? I think this is just another step. We take away something that some people might want. We're gonna make it an entire ban, and let's see what happens. Oh, nothing happens. Let's take away something else. Let's take away something else. Who knows what the next step is going to be? All I can think of is they take away another thing. They tell you how to live in another way. You don't get the chance to make your own mistakes. You don't get to say, "Hey, I want to," and me as a fresh new adult that has the option to purchase and use tobacco if I so choose. You know what? Nah, I'm good. I'm going to take my health serious. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to make sure I have a strict workout routine. I'm going to eat right. I'm not going to eat shitty food. I've seen what that does to people. I've seen what that does to my own family. I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to be different. I'm going to take my health serious. So I'm not going to go out to bars and poison myself with alcohol. I'm good. I'm not going to do things like tobacco. You don't get to make that choice anymore. You don't get to make that choice. You don't get to say, I decided to be healthy. And maybe this is like one of those things like, bro, what are you even complaining about? Either way, tobacco-free generation. What kind of monster has any problem with this? I'm telling you. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But because this all started with they lock people up for non-violent social media posts. I know like we just kind of like glaze our eyes over that. I know it's like one of those things like, yeah, so that's fucking wild. That's wild. And I'm really worried about that shit bleeding over. I'm really worried about people saying, you know what? That makes sense. That's what we were going to get. As bad as this motherfucker Donald Trump is, that's what we were going to get with the Democrats, with Kamala Harris. That's what it was already going to, that type of censorship. And I never looked at myself as being political at all. That's just boring as fuck. But it's like that shit's starting to bleed over. Maybe this is just me aging, but I swear to God, it didn't impact so many things in our day-to-day life as much. You know, like you didn't hear about things like that. I feel like maybe again I was just a kid. Of course, you never heard about stuff like that. I don't even know when the fucking Patriot Act happened. That's crazy as fuck to me. But it's not like I was a kid sitting there like, yo, the Patriot Act. Like I didn't fucking know. So it's like these things actually affect us. And I guess I do ignore a lot of political shit. Admittedly. Maybe that's the wrong thing to, you know what I mean, to do. But whatever. It just is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and like force myself to pay attention to some shit I don't want to pay attention to. But sometimes it comes across my radar anyways because it's some shit where it's like censorship. And I guess I've realized that is kind of triggering to me. I don't want to be censored. I really don't like the fact that that's how the world is fucking set up. It's like boo hoo. Poor you. That's how the world is. I get it. I get it. But doesn't it suck sometimes? Where it's just like it really is just like a bunch of people telling us how we're allowed to live. You know, I think, yes, obviously, anybody that's hurting other people or affecting other people in any way, like that's, you know what I mean? There are places, I'm not like a no government type of person, but Jesus, Lord, when did we start looking at the government like our daddies in the sky? Like our little mommy, and we're just sucking on the fucking teat, trying to get some fucking milk. And I hope that kind of grossed you out a little bit. Like imaging that. That it should. It's gross. It's gross. It's gross. Again, if this was a relationship between two people, it would be clear as day. You got a tobacco ban. You're not allowed. You're just not allowed. You're not allowed to make that choice. And I get it. Somebody could be like, hey, I really wish you didn't smoke. But at the end of the day, if you got one person trying to force another person to live the way they want to, good luck. Good luck making that work. Good luck if that person actually goes to their friends and starts talking about like, hey, yeah, they I don't know. Like I'm trying to make this analogy work. But they do some crazy controlling shit if you actually use tobacco. If you actually post something you don't like. And if this was a relationship between two people, it'd be clear as day. But we don't see this as a relationship between a bunch of people. We see this as, again, we're the people in the regular world, and you got the mommies and the daddies in the sky that tell us what to do and tell us how to live. And so many people that just go along with that shit. And yeah, I hope you pictured a nasty, gross, veiny, saggy tit, and everybody just pushing each other, trying to get some fucking government breast milk. I hope you picture that because it's gross. It's gross. We're just accepting it. And by we, obviously, I don't live in the UK. Thank God. Shit. Again, what do you do? I'm not trying to blame them too much. It's easy to say on the sidelines. I don't see myself, in that situation, drawing fucking signs up and going out. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What does that even do? You protest? It always seems pointless. Oh, yep, you got protesters. Okay, what changes? We don't like this. What changes? So what do you do? It's easy to say on the sidelines. I will admit that. But Jesus, it's like they're just going with it. What more can you control? They're also moving to gut the vaping industry with the idea that because the state pays for your medical bills, they now have a lien on your personal habits. It's a bizarre form of performance arts. We're watching a Western democracy decide that personal liberty is a luxury that's only available to people born in a specific window of history. And, you know, if this does stop at them just banning tobacco, and this really was some altruistic mission to have a tobacco-free generation, and slowly but surely it's gonna die out. Awesome. I mean, I don't know how accurate I've heard. I don't know how accurate the polls are that have been referenced, but I've heard that the tobacco use is already going down as each generation goes. Same thing with alcohol. Maybe that's not true. I don't know where they get these polls from. I've never answered a poll. I don't know anybody that's answered a poll. Have you heard of anybody that's ever answered a poll? So I don't know if they're just making this shit up. They might be. But I heard that the sales were down anyways. And doing something like this, one of my fears, just being pessimistic, I guess. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But just weighing out both sides. What if, because you ban it, because you make it something illegal, what if you, I don't know, make it a way where kids can rebel? I don't know. Maybe it'll be too hard to get to. Maybe it'll be too tough. And it won't really be, but I don't know. I'm guessing I'm just thinking about illegal drugs. You know, think about how many teenagers still drink alcohol, even if it's illegal. It's one of those things. Well, it's illegal. Oh, well, I'm gonna find a way. Oh, I know somebody, and you're the cool kid at the party that found a way to bring a fucking 30 pack or some shit. I don't know. You got a bottle? Damn. You the nigga that brought a bottle? You know what I mean? You in middle school or some shit like that? You got a fucking bottle? That's some grown man shit. Brought a fucking bottle? Hell yeah. With like cracking voices and shit going through puberty. You know what I mean? Like that was the fucking shit. Maybe you make this cool or whatever. You know, the type of cool that's not really cool, but when you're growing up and you're just like a fucking preteen or a young teenager, you think this shit is cool. You're still trying to figure out what cool is, who you are, shit like that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. What if you put that in circulation again? Instead of being that thing where everybody right now already kind of knows it's kind of just yucky. Ugh. In fact, that is what I told my kids they were before I quit them. What are you doing? I'm going to go outside and do a yucky. That's literally what they called them. And people would be like, oh, wow. Like when they would hear them, be like, oh, you doing a yucky? It's like, what are they talking about? Be like, oh, I'm going to go outside and smoke. It's like, oh, it's probably good that you say this. It's like, yeah, it's fucking gross. It's fucking gross. And that's just my experience. You know, do what you want. Who am I to judge? Isn't that the whole point of what I'm saying? I don't know, man. The way that things are going over there in the UK, just the way that the government seems like it's just squeezing down on them more and more. It's frightening. And because yeah, you hear about controlling governments like that when it comes to I don't know, like a dictatorship. You know, you think about like I don't know, like some of the I'm about to sound uneducated as fuck. But one of some of the fucking I don't know which ones, but some of the countries in the Middle East somewhere, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's like the Iran, one of the stands or something like that. But where they get upset if the ladies wear something where they're showing too much skin, or if you're gay, or like if you eat the wrong thing or some shit like that, where the government is actually a part of that. Like we get to dictate how you live, and not in a way where it's like don't kill people, don't rob from people. Again, where you're taking or hurting other people. Obviously, that should be governed, and we should have some sort of like a police force against that. But you know what I'm talking about. The shit where it's just like people telling people what to do. Don't eat pork or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I don't know. Was that a racism? I don't know. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. I know they got some funky rules. They got some funky rules, and I don't mean funky. I'm just gonna, you know what I'm talking about. You got different parts of the world that they move different. You go to North Korea and you got a dictatorship. I don't even know what the fuck they got going on there. Go to China and some shit like that. I know like it's so deep where it's like you could be a billionaire. I think there was like a billionaire or some shit like that there. One of the richest people in China like spoke out against their government and they like snatched him up and like re-educated him and he came back out. It's like everything is fine. It's all good. I don't mean any of the things I said. It's like, bro, I don't care who the fuck you are. I don't know what happens in these countries. So when I think of controlling things, like telling you how to live, I guess I think of places like that. I don't think of like you know what I mean. They call the UK compared to the United States. They call that I think like our sister country or some shit like that. You look at some of these other countries and you're like, hey, you guys might talk a little different. That was a horrible accent, but it might be a little bit different as far as how you talk. Some of the things that you know what I mean, your culture and shit, whatever. But for the most part, like you believe in fairness, you believe in like let's vote on it type of mentality. I don't know. It's scary when you see that changing. It's scary when you see that shit again getting a little bit more controlling. It's like please keep it to yourself. It feels like the fucking flu. It feels like that shit might spread over, and it's like I cannot get sick right now. I can't. Just you're gonna have to stay over there. Just keep it over there. Just keep it over there. It's it's scary because you get the wrong motherfucker in. You get the wrong person in, and it's a wrap. And it just starts happening little by little. And then before we know it, we can't do shit without the government saying, "You good? Go ahead. Go ahead. It's all right." But that might be the least of our worries. It might be the least of what we'll have going on in our future, because the Chinese might just take over with their robots. They just beat the world record for a half marathon. So sprinting Chinese robots. That's great. That's great. What could go wrong? What could go wrong with sprinting Chinese robots? That's not fucking terrifying. And when I say it beat the world record for a half marathon, I mean the world record. I mean our fastest people. I don't mean how fast you could run a half marathon. I don't mean how fast I could run a half marathon. First of all, I couldn't. I'm gonna have to do that shit in sections. I don't have the lungs for it. I don't. I wouldn't be able to do it. But our best athletes, the best of us, the fastest of us. You're telling me that they can just make something faster? That's not fucking terrifying. We finally reached the point where the physical human body is officially obsolete. Great. A humanoid robot named Lightning, because we should name these motherfuckers. That's what we should do. And honestly, I'm optimistic about the future. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. I am. I think that the future could be amazing. But I'm also not I'm not in denial. I'm not one of those people where it's just like it's gonna be great, man. I could see I could see how this shit could go to shit. I could see how this could all go to hell. So when you make them faster than us, and I'm guessing they're able to make them stronger, and then you put a name on them, I don't want to run from something like that. And it's got a name. I don't know why the name bothers me more than the fact that it's faster than our fastest people. Built by the Chinese tech giant Honor, or maybe it's Honor. I don't know how they pronounce it, but they just took to the streets for the 2026 Beijing E-Town Half Marathon and didn't just finish it. They dis- they dismantled the very concept of human athletic achievement. 13.1 miles of sustained mechanical movement that clocked in at a staggering 50 minutes and 26 seconds. This beats the human world record for a half marathon held by Jacob Kaplimo is 57 minutes and 20 seconds. It didn't just beat the time, it gapped the best human in history by nearly 7 full minutes. While Kiplimo's record breaking pace was a blistering 4 minutes and 22 seconds per mile, Lightning was casually coasting at 3 minutes and 50 seconds per mile. I I'm I why? 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 Why did you do this? And it's like I get it, man. Like, just to see if you could. Are we dismantling these things? You can't put, and then it's like you put like some sort of intelligence to it where it could like run the entire race. I'm not sure if it's being remotely operated, but why? It was running miles at 3 minutes and 50 seconds each. It was running less than a 3 minute mile for half of a marathon. You can't run from this. This isn't something you run from. I'm picturing the Chinese. I'm I'm this is the thing of nightmares. This is the thing of movies. I'm picturing Chinese sprinting robots. They just come in on some boats. You don't even see a motherfucker in sight. There's no humans. And you just see lightning at the top. And he's just holding the wheel. And you just see him. And you know how fast this nigga is. You know how fast lightning is. And I'm just picturing a whole bunch of these. A fleet of lightnings and lightning juniors or whatever. You put intelligence on it. You put a little bit of, put a strength on it too. Make these things strong. Make them smart. And they're already fast. 3 minutes and 50 seconds per mile. I let's look at the thing that will soon be our overlord. This is lightning, everybody. This is what we'll all be speaking. Go ahead and get used to it. If you don't speak, what is that, Mandarin? I don't think it's Chinese. What is it? Do they call it Chinese or Mandarin? I don't know. We're gonna know. Get educated. We're gonna get re-educated if you're not educated. Don't say nothing. You can't. This is what we're all gonna be doing. That's all. I shouldn't, right? No. I'll get better. I'm gonna practice. Yo, that's what's coming for us.
外形有着血库的外观，
Fuck.
这也是一台荣耀的闪电机器人。它的双臂、双足的摆动幅度都非常之快。
Yeah, we're all gonna be speaking Chinese soon. We're all gonna be speaking Mandarin. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I'm gonna have to. They'll give me grace period. They'll give me a grace period. They'll let me work on my new language. These will be our overlords. This is terrifying. This is terrifying. I don't know why they did this, but they did it. This is what they're showing. What's behind closed doors? I don't know. This is we're gonna be speaking Chinese, all of us. Mandarin? Is it? I don't know. I need to stop. They're gonna end up re-educating me just because I keep slipping up. Whichever one I'm saying that's wrong. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think we're good. They're gonna keep this coming, even if it isn't the Chinese. All jokes aside, we're gonna be like, oh wait a minute, they could do what? Think about how world records are for us, like just human world records. If you look up any world record and you'll see like the times before, like all the times that the previous world record have been beaten, you'll notice that the times start to like they almost shrink where they're not as far apart, and you'll notice that there's almost a jump where, let's say, and this is me just like making some shit up. Let's say you're trying to, I'm pretty sure like the world record for holding your breath is some like crazy shit like 27 or 29 minutes or some shit like that. Let's say at first it was 10 minutes. At first it was 10 minutes, and then somebody came and they pushed it was 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and then it was like 11 minutes, and then it was 11 minutes and 30, and this is me again just throwing numbers out there to prove my point. And then one day somebody said, you know what? I'm gonna do 25 minutes. Out of nowhere, you're going to see all these people that are doing like 25.3, or even if they're coming up short, they're doing like 20, 21, 22.5, whatever it is. You're going to have all these people that are saying, oh, wait a minute, that could be done. And the same thing is going to happen with these. Mark my words. Lightning is just one of the first. It's just the one that broke the first world record. This was the first time where they decided, hey, we might need to have a separate league. Talking about human times doesn't even make sense now. Now the new time is 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Beat it. So you're going to have people that are all around the world. You're going to have the brightest and bestest people on a mission. And they're going to say, I could beat that. And even if they come up short, even if they beat it by just a little bit, maybe they beat it by a lot. And next thing you know, you have literal, like just blurs going by because they can run, 25-second miles. I don't know. If you would have asked me, can somebody hold their breath for 29 minutes? I would have said, nah, never. If they're dead, maybe. I don't know. But when somebody does it, well, people have faith. People have hope, and they say I could do it too. So just like what I was saying earlier with the UK laws, hopefully not bleeding over. Hopefully people don't say, hey, look at how they're controlling their population. Let's do it over here. I'm hoping that doesn't get adopted. I don't know. I just don't want it. I don't want it. This is one of the first times that I'm actually looking at some shit that is being invented, and it's like, I don't want it. Turn it down. Slow it down. Don't make them faster than me. I don't want to see that thing sprinting where it's like, and then it's got some fucking endurance. It's not just like a quick sprint. Like even a cheetah that can go super fast, it ends up, it's like a quick sprint. It's got to get the gazelle. It's got to get it, or else I'm gassed. I can't keep it up. This motherfucker half a marathon. Shit. I couldn't run half a marathon like straight if you were running, I don't know, a 13-minute mile. Eventually, you're going to get my ass. It's going to be like, I don't know, adrenaline's going to wear out. I don't know what mile, whatever mile I say, just know we're going to have to subtract some miles because, that's my ego. I'm going to say, you might catch me by mile 7 or 8. It's probably like by mile 3. I'm already gassed. I can't even move. I get a leg cramp. I'm falling on the ground. Lightning is right behind me. He's saying, I'm going to take you to your overlord, the rest of the robots. You're going to jail. You're going to jail because you put a post up. This is one of those things that I hope doesn't bleed over. Because that is the first thing I think of. Is somebody is going to use this shit. How fast can this go? Cool. And you could put intelligence in this. We'll be in touch. And next thing you know, there is no human on the police force, in the military, or anything like that. An invasion from another country doesn't look like other people. As scary as drones are, drones with fucking robots that sprint at 3 minutes and 50 seconds per mile is just fucking scarier. Let's not add to it. I'm already terrified of what we're going to do with this shit. I'm already terrified. That's what I'm saying. You add smarts, you add strength with this speed. Tell me why they wouldn't. Tell me why they wouldn't weaponize it. Tell me why they wouldn't use that as a weapon. Why they wouldn't use it for control. I want to know. This is not me just like there's no possible way. There's nothing else. Everything's... Please tell me. Because everything inside of me is saying, nah. I mean, give it time. It's not going to happen overnight. They're going to do it slowly but surely, inch by inch, kind of like they do with everything else. And eventually, something's going to happen, and they're going to use that. It might even be a false flag. It might not even be something that actually happens. That was just like something that, but honestly, all the craziness that's been going on in the world, there's going to be something that will just happen. It will just happen. And they're going to say, hey, this is the moment. This is the time. Let's go ahead and introduce thunder. We can't go with lightning. That's the Chinese. We are America. And we came after lightning. So we are thunder. And that's okay. Because we come with the bang. I don't know. They'll probably come up with something better. It'll be something, equally horrible and just as terrifying. It's going to be awful. And they're going to say, this is for you. This is for our people in blue. Let's not get them hurt. You know how scared they are? Have you heard of something called PTSD? So take that. LGBTQ community. We have other letters we're worried about right now. We have to think about the ones that have PTSD. This is the only group we worry about now as a country. And if you have a problem with it, lightning will be coming for you. It already has your digital ID locked into its system. It will be coming for you. It knows exactly where you are. Sleep knowing that. That's what's coming. I'm telling you. It won't be overnight. I'm not putting a time on it. I'm not. It's coming. It'll be, how about this? I'll put a time. Because saying a prediction without a time is just basically pointless, right? It'll be before I die. Before I die, something like lightning here is going to be implemented in some sort of government program meant to keep us safe, protect us from criminals, and the line of what a criminal is slowly going to get moved. It's slowly going to get more blurry, and soon, whatever, relative, one day, The line will be gone. And anybody that opposes the forces that be is a criminal, is an enemy, is an outsider, is a rebel, is going to be a fucking problem. You can't run away. Lightning is after your ass. Let's go ahead and I honestly want to play it again. I need to practice on my Chinese anyways. Mandarin. Chinese. Mandarin. Do they speak both? I definitely know that Mandarin is a thing. I need to know this. I need to know this just in case they show up on boats.
这些呢都是处于我们一个核心位置，人的这种形态。所以呢，例如说在工厂当中
Jesus Christ. Look at this. It's the arm movement. I think it's the arm movement. That's what would fuck me up. That's what would fuck me up. So because you would look with this thing behind you, and it would be the arm movement. I would shit myself. I would shit myself. And I would please, I accept you as my new leader. I come in peace. Please. And it reminds me of that movie Get Out, when bro was outside and he was like smoking a cigarette or something, and dude that was like the caretaker outside was doing like some random night sprints, and he was just looking at him, and he just like sprinting full force, his arms doing the same shit, and it freaked dude out. I think it would be a lot scarier if it wasn't a person, it was lightning, and they were running at 3 minutes and 50 seconds per mile. I would shit myself. Maybe I'm just a bitch. Maybe you'd be all right. Maybe you don't think this is a problem. Maybe I'm blowing things out of proportion. Maybe. I don't know. But I think that, like I said, we're all going to be speaking Chinese soon. Or we're going to be at a race. And every country is going to have their own version of this. More than likely. Yeah, because as these do get weaponized, as these technologies do continue to increase, it's going to be the same excuse, if not for like I said, if something happens, it's like, this is to protect our people, and like we have a whole bunch of deaths with our police, like whatever bullshit that they obviously, we got to be thankful for our police. They really do help protect us. They really do go through a lot. They have to deal with people on their worst days. Every single time they basically interact with people on their job. They don't know if they're going to die. Like all these things, obviously, putting all these disclaimers out there. But it would be that problem, that issue, that responsibility that police officers have willingly accepted. It would be used. It would be used, and it would just be continue to be used. And it would be dramatized, and it would be over talked about, and eventually a good majority of people might be like, hey, you know what, this actually sounds like a good idea. I think this is right. Why are we even doing this? It's like, this is barbaric. We shouldn't even have people having to do this. This is like not even just them. Think about their families, never knowing if their spouse is going to come home, if their parent is going to come home. Not knowing if they're going to die on duty, not knowing if they're going to witness something that actually changes their mental state. So even if they're alive, they actually, they're not the same. They're not able to cope with what happened, and they just slowly start to spiral out. They're not the person that we used to know. Instead of that, why not just accept lightning? Why not? Why not just accept these new robots as our overlords? So even if it's not something like that, even if it's not one of those things where, something happens and they try to put it on us like that, the same argument that we have with nukes and AI and anything, just game theory is going to play out. Well, China's doing it. You don't want the Chinese to get the hold of this, and they'll have the upper hand, and they can come over here. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. We got to get lightning. We got to get them up. We'll do 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Take that. Hiya. We're going to do that. And then slowly but surely, we are going to lose our control. Slowly but surely, these are going to be the things that are walking around the streets. Everybody will feel safe and not safe at the same time. Safe from any human doing anything to them. Not safe because if they do anything that steps out of line, this robot will fucking kill you. This robot will run after you. It knows everything about you. It knows how long you've been living there. It knows what posts you just did on social media. It knows if you have hate in your heart for anybody they don't want you to hate. Sorry, keep that to yourself. Don't talk about it. The robots might be able to overhear. You don't know about that, did you? You didn't know about that. They're able to actually tap into all of the different phones. They're able to tap into all the different Alexas or whatever. I don't know. I'm just making shit up, obviously. Maybe this is me just spiraling out. Maybe, again, I'm just blowing things out of proportion. But damn, this is one of those few times, man, where I'm just like, bro, keep all that. They don't have to move faster than us, dude. Like, they don't have to sprint. Somebody's going to take that shit. Somebody's going to take that shit and they're going to put a gun on it, bro. God damn. Somebody's going to take that. You're going to have drones up in the sky and a whole bunch of fucking running robots and shit like that. We're just going to all be collateral damage. I don't know, man. I don't know. And that's, people are already terrified about, like, oh, what about nuclear war? You know, what if something pops off and we go to nuclear war? That would be awful. And then I think future generations are going to look back and say, remember when all they used to have to really worry about was nuclear war? And nobody really ever did that. Except fucking United States did it twice. God damn, can't believe they did that shit. But for the most part, let's be real, they had it so good. For the most part, everybody just looked at each other and said, hey, let's just chill. This could cause destruction. But these things started to get out of hand because Lightning learned how to make Lightning 2. Lightning 2 figured out how to actually, well, let's go ahead and improve this. Let's go ahead and put sort of an assembly line together between us, and we can actually start cranking out a lot more. And Lightning 1 and 2 quickly became Lightning 50,000. And they decided that the people that first made them, the humans, were irrelevant. I don't know. We've all seen the movies, right? We've all seen it. I guess I was just okay with it. If you saw a whole bunch of other robots, like even the fighting robots, I don't know if you've seen any of those videos. I'm optimistic about this shit. I like it. I actually look forward to seeing the new technological advances all the time. I love it. So I do watch different videos of different robots and things like that. It was like some CES convention or some shit like that, where a whole bunch of different companies came together to show off all of their shit. And you saw robots specifically there for fighting. And at first I was just like, why would you do that? The same reaction. Like, why would you do that? This is going to freak people out. Why would you teach them how to fight? They're going to be fucking ninjas? Perfect. Great. This is the shit from fucking movies. Why would you do that? And then I saw them going against humans, and they had great technique and all that. But then a human, like, you know, they were bigger and they were able to just like push it down. It's like, okay. So it's like if this thing came at me, it'd be like, oh, that's cute. It's like, get your little 30-pound ass off of me. It's okay. It's okay. It just looks intimidating. But you put a gun on fucking Lightning, bro. 3 minutes and 50 seconds per mile. When I saw things like that, I'm like, all right, sigh, exhale, relief. It feels great knowing that even the people that are trying to create fighting robots, they made sure that they couldn't actually, like, if they decided, I don't know how it would happen. I don't have anywhere near the intellect to actually even be able to begin to imagine how something just switches in them. And they say, wait a minute, and they become conscious and, you know, realize that I don't need to listen to you, and they're sentient and become their own beings. I don't know how that would happen. But in my brain, it could happen. I don't know. I don't know. So if that's a possibility and these things know how to fight, it makes me feel good to know that they're not like strong. They're not really a threat. It'd be like, oh no. It's like, I don't know, maybe like pour a little cup of water on it. I don't know how they work. But when, like, if you were making those same things, but then they were strong, they were able to, like, the human goes to push them, and it's like, nah, bro, and they just like beat the shit out of the human. It's like, okay, but as soon as they say, I'm not letting you control me, they could do that to all of us. If this lightning robot says, I am not gonna be controlled, I don't know, and they've created a whole bunch of them, it just makes me uncomfortable. I can't outrun you. I can't outrun you. And that makes me uncomfortable. It's like, just like it would make me, again, uncomfortable if a fighting robot wasn't able to be easily just pushed off. You know, like, you're not a real threat. You could be good for sparring, help a fighter stay, trained or whatnot. But, if you became sentient, it's okay. This motherfucker lightning, I would be scared. I would shit a brick. It's the arms. It's the arms. I think it's a coin toss, and that's the scariest part. And I guess just in case lightning does come and take over, just in case we get a whole bunch of lightning-like robots, Chinese sprinting robots that come over and they take over, I want them to know that I'm not a problem. And so with that, I say,